things haven't exactly been going well for Deku and the other heroes in this final section of My Hero Academia. But even though it did seem like the heroes were finally turning the tables on the villains, we now know that it seems like things are going in the complete opposite direction. And that's thanks to the events of My Hero Academia chapter 377, where we learn about Deku's biggest weakness yet, and something that might actually spell the end for our main character by the end of the battle. So in this video, we're going to discuss Deku's big weakness and why I think it may lead us to a world where Deku actually dies. But that sounds like crazy talk, right? Sounds like madness. So let's get to it, talking about first what that big weakness is. Now, during the fight between Shigaraki and Deku, we have seen that Deku has gotten the upper hand on Shigaraki by pretty much blitzing him and overpowering him by using the power of One for All. Now, we know that during this battle, Deku actually awakened the power of the second user's quirk, which is called Gear Shift. And Gear Shift is an ability where it seems like it allows Deku to control the speed of something that he touches, even ignoring the laws of inertia. So when it's powered by One for All, this quirk can really break the laws of reality even. So it makes it a massively useful ability to have, but in this fight it actually might come with more drawbacks than utility for Deku. The reason I say this is because we were told previously that Deku had a 5-minute time limit for using Gear Shift on his body and using it on Shigaraki in the way that he was, but we weren't actually told what was going to be happening at the end of that 5-minute cooldown. And now in a situation where I don't think those 5 minutes have completely gone on, we see Deku finally revealing to us, the readers, exactly what the issue is. You see, in chapter 377 of My Hero Academia, we learn that if Deku overdoes it with the Gear Shift quirk, the blowback on his body is actually going to be that he isn't able to breathe. Now, this isn't the first quirk in One for All that presents a danger to its user, because we do know that Danger Sense does come with its own level of blowback. It gives Deku really bad headaches, and we know that for the user, once paired with One for All, it ended up slowly whittling away that user's life. But with Gear Shift, we have a very different situation, because of course, this weakness might have been manageable back when it was inside of the second quirk user, but now that it's inside of Deku and now that it's been boosted by One for All this long, it's actually a very present danger, because Deku's gonna need more than 5 minutes, it seems like, to actually finish Shigaraki off, where it's like he might have to make a choice between breathing and actually defeating Shigaraki or saving him like he plans on. Now, the issue is, we know that if Deku has to make that choice between not breathing anymore and winning at the same time versus losing and being able to breathe and kind of live on another day, Deku's gonna always pick not breathing anymore while saving someone, because that's just kind of the nature that he has. So in the odd event that I do think that Deku's not gonna be able to breathe after doing some of his last attacks, how do I think that would go? I think that the All for One and One for All battle does need to end, but I would hate for Deku to maybe win the fight and then take his last breath with All for One possibly and at least some of his minions still out in the world for Deku to go ahead and defeat. But I do think it would be very touching and very sad if we did lose Deku, and I definitely think that Shigaraki represents the certain level of danger that it would take for a person to reason, okay, I'm willing to give my life to make sure that this person isn't a threat any longer. Now, the good thing for Deku is it seems like there are possible ways for him to get help in this battle, specifically from two different places. One, we know that Edge Shot is inside of Bakugo trying to patch him up and healing up, and Bakugo is very durable and he is able to fight with very severe injuries, so I do think that Bakugo is going to end up getting up in the middle of this fight between Shigaraki and Deku, and he is going to help Deku by allowing him to have some time to rest as he takes on Shigaraki in his new quirk awakening, which we know was already very difficult for Shigaraki to deal with, and we don't know how Shigaraki's body or anything is working right now after he was freed from the body that he evolved from in this chapter. Regardless, Bakugo should be really difficult for Shigaraki to deal with when he gets up, and honestly, I just don't see this series ending without us seeing Bakugo and Deku sort of working together to take down that final villain or last villain, which would either be Shigaraki or All for One. The other reason that I think Deku is going to get some help here is because we know that UA is falling out of the sky at a rapid pace, and someone's going to have to do something about that, or else everyone on UA is practically dead if that happens. Now, we saw the return of La Brava, who was actually a character that was introduced in My Hero Academia Season 4, or whenever the Culture Fest was. I honestly don't remember what season it was, but she was introduced alongside the Gentle Criminal in that arc, where both of them tried to invade UA, and ultimately Deku beat the both of them all on his own, using his quirk without hurting himself for one of the first times, in order to to come out on top with the victory and allow the UA performance to continue as scheduled in order to save Aries' smile after the events of the overhaul arc. Now, if La Brava was let off the hook and is now working alongside Tsukauchi, probably specifically for the reason of getting her record cleared by working in this operation, then I definitely think that Gentle, who we last saw having a conversation where he was told that, no, thankfully they caught him now before he really became a villain, is probably also on his way to this battlefield to help the heroes. In fact, I'm going to be doing another video talking a lot more in depth about the return of La Brava and Gentle, because we did do a video kind of theorizing that that's what was going to happen. But I think that Gentle definitely does have an opportunity here to be a hero. And again, we've seen every other villain in My Hero Academia kind of return in this last section of the story, starting with the Dark Deku arc. And we did see Deku thinking about Gentle and La Brava in the flashback that he had, where he thought about all the other villains that have returned in the story since. So naturally, I do think that Gentle is going to return, and he is going to be some help against Shigaraki, because how is Shigaraki going to decay the air pads of bouncy air, right? I don't think Shigaraki can decay air. So Gentle could be a really, really annoying and helpful force in the battle against Shigaraki. But again, I still think it's going to be a very, very high intensity fight. And if Gentle isn't careful, Shigaraki could very, very easily get to him and take him out. And I definitely don't think that that would be a good way for Gentle to come back into the story, just having him get defeated. But I mean, it happens to characters like Star and Stripes, so I wouldn't be entirely surprised considering how Shigaraki has been moving in this final section of My Hero. So what do you think about Deku's big weakness and the fact that it seems like Deku does have a very, very limiting factor here, in the fact that if he continues using Gear Shift, which is the only thing that it seems like makes him more powerful than Shigaraki at this point, then he is not going to actually be able to breathe, and that could lead to some major complications for the character in the future. Horikoshi let us know at Jump Festa that while things haven't really gone as fastly as he thought they were, we are still rocketing towards the finish line in My Hero. And now with UA falling out of the sky and things kind of going the way that they have been, I definitely don't know if we're cutting away to those other areas that we've seen in the beginning of the war arc. So this confrontation between Deku and Shigaraki likely is going to bring us to the conclusion of the series. Let me know how you guys think it's going to go, and if Shigaraki can find any way to make use of Deku's new weakness, and what do you think about the fact that Horikoshi has done a very good job, in my opinion at least, at giving Deku weaknesses, specifically so he isn't just a broken, overpowering force, and he is defeatable in some theoretical way. Do you think Deku's going to be okay with not being able to breathe, or do you think that's going to bite him in the butt and he's out of here and they need to start planning his funeral? It's Vocal Pineapple. I'll see you guys later. Please like the video. It really, really helps me get the video out to the algorithm. And if you like my content, like my recent recap series going over the various things that have happened in the story of My Hero Academia, please hit that subscribe button and the drop down menu to turn all notifications on so you can see all my new videos as they roll out. I love you guys again. It's Pineapple. I'll see you guys soon with another upload. We got a lot of shorts coming out tonight, a lot of versus battles. So I'll see you soon. It's Pineapple again. Peace.